Fusion.
Everybody here seemed rather to celebrate the fusion of two cultures.
Hydraulic.
Your brakes work on hydraulic power.
Condense.
As it releases heat, the gas cools and condenses back to liquid state.
Allergy.
You do have a mild allergy to peanuts.
Variable.
The climate of Scotland is extremely variable.
Evolution.
Today, almost all scientists accept the theory of evolution.
Representative.
He became a representative of the town government.
Crystallize.
Leave it on the shelf too long and honey begins to crystallize.
Gorgeous.
I saw that house. It is gorgeous.
Angle.
The bucket has to be at a 45-degree angle.
Impose.
For example, the government imposed new taxes on fuel.
Apologize.
I'm sorry, I apologize.
Colleague.
I like working with my colleagues.
Pump.
An air pump is used to put air into the tire of the wheel.
Exempt.
Everybody hits the wall. No one's exempt.
Marine.
It's not easy to harvest marine life from the waters.
Board.
I wrote it on the board.
Immature.
He's a child, immature and dangerous.
Orientation.
Our school has an orientation towards practical skills.
Aggressive.
But he was not violent and he was not aggressive.
Cling.
He'll be just another child, clinging to my skirts.
Output.
America's oil output will not shrink in 2020.
Hostile.
Help never arrived, and the natives were hostile.
Resolve.
He did not want the country to depend only on war to resolve conflicts.
Tile.
It took 2 months to install bathroom tile.
Undertaking.
And that restaurant is a huge undertaking. No one could do it alone.
Transmit.
Your signal is still transmitting.
Sloth.
This is a female three-toed sloth.
Popular.
Who was the most popular kid in school?
Furry.
I like petting a soft furry dog.
Restraint.
He's a man of restraint. He's one of our finest.
Luminosity.
In addition, the sun's increasing luminosity will cause severe effects on Earth.
Outermost. The outermost layer is a layer of hardened dead cells.
Slight.
One night I was woken by a slight noise.
Butter.
I'll have the toast with butter too, please.
Vegetative.
His chart says he fell into a persistent vegetative state 16 years ago.
Plasma.
Plasma is the yellowish liquid part of blood.
Swarm.
Suddenly, out of nowhere, a swarm of bees came and attacked
Locomotion.
This moving around underground is known as subsurface locomotion.
Utmost.
You have earned my utmost respect.
Dignity.
I prefer to behave with class and dignity.
Spot.
Here is our picnic spot.
Rudimentary.
I could only explain it in the most rudimentary way.
Bud.
Small buds can already be seen on the cherry trees.
Remainder.
They didn't talk much during the remainder of the journey.
Depend.
All right. I may be able to help you, depending on what you're asking for.
Slumber.
This process wakes him from his slumber.
Complement.
The rational and the irrational complement each other.
Strive.
Most companies strive to make their products better.
Figure.
Were you happy with the sales figures, Fei-Fei?
Credit.
I paid with my dad's credit card.
Spaghetti.
This spaghetti is delicious.
Outcry.
When the hens heard this, they raised a terrible outcry.
Retain.
I feel we must do something to retain people longer.
Inertia.
That's Isaac Newton's law of inertia, Mr. Myers.
Liquefy.
One way would be to liquefy the gas and ship it.
Shrimp.
Now fry the shrimps until they turn bright yellow.
Editorial.
Thursday's editorial is not targeting the president.
Assimilate.
It had to assimilate native cultures.
Focus.
You just need to focus on the race.
Soybean.
About 60% of U.S. soybean exports ordinarily go to China.
Annoyed.
She felt so annoyed that her friend let her down.
Banner.
There's an airplane in the sky with a banner right behind.
Factor.
There are several factors that impact confidence.
Infiltrate.
In order for our man to infiltrate that organization, his cover had to be absolute.
Leech.
Toxic wild nuts must be soaked in water for days to leach out the poison.
Momentum.
Right now, I'm full of energy, ideas, momentum.
Odorous.
And during their whole flight, the elder tree smelt so sweet and odorous.
Percolate.
Rainwater can percolate through the ash when it's improperly stored.
Supersonic.
XB-1 is history's first independently developed supersonic jet.
Thermal.
But the thermal imaging camera uses temperature too.
Coefficient.
Can you see the slope of the line given by the coefficients of x and y?
Differential.
As expected, the wealth differential widened as agriculture took off.
Vaporize.
Water vaporizes when boiled.
Waggle.
And this one is waggling its wings like this.
Approximation.
She's a close approximation to what you described.
Bisect.
And a road bisects a territory.
Calculable.
How many people do you think you can reach? Is it calculable?
Ellipse.
We see that all the planets are going around the sun in a shape called an ellipse.
Dividend.
We're publicly traded. We issue dividends.
Formula.
No one writes math formulas on glass, okay?
Weathering.
It starts weathering once the weather gets drier.
Tarnish.
You wouldn't do anything at this event to tarnish that reputation.
Inquire.
May I inquire as to your salary, Mrs. Rowan?
Extrapolate.
Can you extrapolate who the next victim's going to be?
Remains.
The huge amount of salt is the remains of an ancient sea.
Flexibility.
That position gives her some flexibility in her job.
Mural.
It is a mural depicting Black female writers.
Balance.
Do you have a good work-life balance?
Telegraph.
By telegraph and messenger, he was informed of every move.
Privilege.
I also ask you to recognize that education is a privilege.
Chart.
A pie chart shows us percentages.
Scan.
Have you been scanned for a brain tumor?
Congress.
The country's top legislature, the National People's Congress, will open its annual session on May the 22nd.
Amenity.
Amenities are facilities, things that you can use. A gym, a sauna, a spa.
Pretension.
You know what I like about you?
Lack of pretension.
Sensual.
Cooking is a sensual experience.
Grimly.
The director nodded grimly.
Mechanics.
Quantum mechanics was developed in the 1920s.
Presentation.
Howard, could you lower the lights? I have a short PowerPoint presentation.